Hello everybody, how you all been? Christian Dragoon here, coming at you all on Zelda's channel to do yet another guest upload today. And today is going to be a CardFight Vanguard deck profile of my current Kagero DX deck profile. Now this has been a deck that I've really loved for quite some time. If you all have been watching my channel for quite some time, ever since I first got into Vanguard, Dragon Overlord, anything that involves the Overlord series has always been my favorite thing in Vanguard in general. And currently the best build for me to play right now for Overlord in Kagero is between either the Legend and the Great or the X-Stride deck profile. And the X-Stride is currently my main favorite. I really like the build in general. I really love the board control. I really love the field presence deck instead of 4. And I love the heavy duty aggressive power it can also do and it can also dish out on a daily basis. So it just seems like the kind of deck I really would love to play on occasion daily basis. So yeah, with that being said, I'll be explaining my choices just so you all can get a better understanding of why I'm currently doing this deck right here. And with that being said, let's get started. So for right now, the moment, my favorite Forerunner right now, start with the Forerunner, start off with the one listed soldier Fargo. Fargo is currently my favorite Forerunner for this deck right here. I really like the fact that he can be put in the Vanguard Soul at any time during your turn, as long as your Vanguard has Overlord, and for the entire turn, your Vanguard gets a skill of every time his attack is on hit, you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guard. So, and since Overlord has abilities where he stands up multiple times, this card right here could potentially go in there for some really heavy duty retirement right off the bat. And what's really nice about him is that not only requires no count blasting or anything to be put back in the soul of the Vanguard. But one of my things that's nice about him is that when you Soul Blast him and then put him back in your deck because of Legion for whatever reason, and then you draw him back into it again, not only he becomes an extra 10k shield, but another thing that's really good about that is that you can call him back to Rear Guard Circle and reuse the ability all over again. And this has been very helpful on a lot of situations that a lot of people will normally not expect out of a card like this. And that's it for the starting Vanguard. Now for the triggers. For the triggers, we have, of course, the 4 heals. No explanation needed what the heals are there for. And occasionally, like most people, I am currently doing the 8 critical lineup and the 4 draw lineup here. An equal balance of being very aggressive, powerful, and going that heavy damage as much as you possibly can, while still be able to have some draw power, be able to draw into your resources the best you possibly can. The one thing I really like about Gathering Claw Dragon is that he's really nice for that early retirement play, in case your opponent has that one Forerunner that you really want to get rid of. So this gives you nice early retirement plays, and this allows you to pick out that one annoying Forerunner that you really want to get rid of very fast. Because the way how today's Vanguard is, a lot of Forerunners these days are being a lot more reliable, and they're being a lot more heavy duty to deal with, surprisingly. So having this card as access for this deck right here to get rid of those is very nice and handy in situations like that. And that's it for the triggers. Now for the Great Ones. For the Great Ones, we have, of course, the 4 Protect Orb Dragons, Perfect Guard that allows you to unflip 1 if you have another one in your drop zone, which is always very useful for a lot of occasions. And next up, we have 4 Lava Flow Dragons, your Stride Enabler, so you can get easier access to your Stride plays. 4 copies of Lizard General Conroe. I really love this card in this deck right here. This card is just really insanely nice in this deck right here. We use Call the Rear Guard Circle. By revealing a grade 3 in your hand, you can add any Overlord from deck to your hand. So let's say you have an extra Overlord that you don't want in your hand. Let's say you have an N, but you prefer the X. You can use Conroe, just reveal the N, and you get X from deck to your hand. And then you can pitch any card. So let's say you have a draw trigger that you know you're not going to need no more. You can just pitch a draw trigger, and it'll be just fine right there as such. And if you just want to dig out your deck for more grade 3s, just so you can enable your Stride plays or your Persona Blast plays, this can be really helpful for those plays as well. And he also has a really nice ability of, you can retire this guy to give your Vanguard, as long as he has the word Overlord, of course, you can retire this card to give your Vanguard the skill of, whenever he attacks a Vanguard, you may unflip 2 damage, which is very powerful. Which I think it has to be the Vanguard, or it can be any you. We're going to choose up to one of your Vanguards. Oh, it just has to be attack. Okay, I apologize. So it doesn't matter if it's attacking a Vanguard or Rear Guard. Just as long as your Overlord Vanguard is declaring attack, you can unflip 2 damage, which is really nice because cards like the Ace are very count blast reliant. So this allows you to not only make up for the heavy damage or heavy cost you gotta pay at some occasions, but also, depending how things roll out, you could potentially save yourself up for more reserve to do some more counterblast plays here and there, which is just insane for a deck like this. And of course, to end the grade 1 lineup, 2 copies of Spear of the Flame Dragon Tar. I did order some more foil ones. The common one will be taken out for their foil one. Tar is just really nice for this deck right here. By GB1, by Soul Blasted 1 card and Counter Blast 1 card, you can target any of your Vanguard. You can target any of your units as long as your Vanguard's Overlord, of course. I believe your Vanguard has to be Overlord. I believe. Actually, no, it doesn't have to say Overlord. So this could be used in other Kagero decks. Nice. Anyways. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, what's really nice about this card right here is that when you pay the cost, you can not only target one of your units to gain 4,000 power, but that unit will also gain the ability of, while it's attacking the Vanguard, you can look at the top 5 cards. It's a Vanguard or it's a Rear Guard. I apologize. Last time I'll do this. Yeah, it has to specifically attack the Vanguard for the skill. So when that unit is attacking the Vanguard, for free, well, sort of free, you can look at the top 5 of your cards on top of your deck and get a grade 3 from among those 5 cards from your deck to your hand. It's very helpful because it definitely thins out those annoying dead grade 3s you don't want in your hand when you're trying to do your dry checks, which is always nice right there. If you use this on your Overlord unit, that Overlord unit can potentially abuse this ability multiple times, which is just insane. And this can also, and with the extra power, this also becomes a very heavy-duty card on its own and in general. So Tar can definitely be very useful, especially in the right occasions when he's pushed in the game right enough. And that is it for the grade 1s. Now with the grade 2s. The grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Emperor Dragon Knight Nahalem. This dude is just amazing in this deck right here. As long as your GB1, as long as your Vanguard is Overlord, he gains 2,000 power during your turn until end of your turn, and whenever your grade 4 Vanguard attacks, this unit gains plus 5k power. Now, since we're not using the legend, he's not often going to be 21 always that often, which is a sad face, but he does become a 16 on his own at the least when you attack with Strike unit. But if you do start into the Ace, and when your Ace attacks at least twice, then he becomes 21. So when you go for the Ace, it's normally when you're trying to go in to push for game, either push for game or push your opponent to a point where by the time you're done doing what you're doing, your opponent will not have too many resources. And this card is definitely a very heavy-duty card in general, especially considering depending on who he's being boosted. And when he's being boosted by the right card, he can really become a problem for your opponent very quickly. And I really like this card in general. So yeah, Fortnite Homs is nice. And the next up, in my opinion, the best Overlord support card of the entire series. 4 copies of Dragonic Blade, Dragonic Burnout. Burnout is just a really amazing card. We call it Rear Guard Circle. By mere cause, Soul Blasted 1 card, and that's it. Not only you can take any of your grade 3 Overlords from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck, but also you can retire any of your opponent's rear guards out of nowhere, which is just really nice. It definitely picks off those rear guards you don't want. It gives you some recycling. It gives you set for Persona plays and Legion plays as well. And all in all, this card is just very heavy duty. And what's really nice about this card is that when you get Conroe and this card both rolling correctly together, in case if you don't get your Gatling Claw Dragons, this and Conroe can help you pick off those annoying Forerunners not as fast as Gatling Claw Dragon, but fast enough to make up for the lack of Gatling Claw Dragons if push comes to shove if you're unable to do so. So yeah, 4 legends. And then next up, we play 3 copies to finish all the grade 2s. 3 copies of Twilight Arrow Dragon. Just a really nice just a really nice grade 2 in general that allows you to retire 1 by just Counter Blast 1 when he's attacking a Vanguard while he's being boosted, which is just a really nice card in general. Again, more cards help you pick off rear guards, and more cards allow you to take control of the board and take care of whatever problem that's threatening you the most. And that is it for the grade 2s. Now for the grade 3s. With the grade 3s, the Heart and Soul of the deck right here, 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord the X, and 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord the N. Now, if you've been playing Vanguard ever since the end first debuted, I think you already know why the end is so great. And here's the deck 4. As for the X is just so amazing because his Legion mate is the Overlord the N, so you can use both the N and the X's skill while they're both in Legion together. So if your attack does hit, you can use the N skill to stand right back up, which is just amazing. The X skill can also allow you to Counter Blast 1 and Persona Blast Blast, and then you can retire 2 rear guards to your opponent's side field as long as attack did not hit. And also when you first Legion, you can add either a copy of the N or a copy of the X to hand. So this gives you a nice setup for more Legion plays, more Stride plays. This gives you more Persona Blast options, and this allows you to add the whatever Pacific Overlord you feel is the most necessary, based upon the situation of the game. If you know by fact your opponent is going to perfectly guard you or have enough resources blocking the attack, you go for the X so you can retire your opponent's board. If you know by fact you are going to be able to land an attack with your N, you go with your Vanguard. You go for the N so you can attack again. So again, this gives you more field presence. This gives you more board presence, and this just gives you an opportunity to just take control of the game very quickly, very fast. So yeah, and that right there was the main deck. Now for the Strides. Let's get the G Guardians out of the way real quick. For the G Guardians, we have, of course, 3 copies of the now Griffins. Griffin's just really nice. When he's G guarding a rear guard, you can counterblast 1 to instantly retire that rear guard, which is very nice and powerful because this gives you the huge advantage and take advantage of your opponent who is trying to put so much faith in that one rear guard, and you just kill their dreams right there, which is hilarious. And the 1 copy of Defeat Flare Dragon. Oh my god, I love this card in general. For those of you who do not know what this card does, when he's called the Guardian Circle, and if he's called the Guardian Circle while your Vanguard is Overlord, and if your opponent's Vanguard is attacking to your Vanguard while this card is guarding the attack, by mere cause of counterblast only 1 card, and that is it. Not only you can take 2 Overlords in your drop zone and bomb your deck, but also after you do that, you can retire your opponent's entire back row. So this is really nice because there are those Vanguards that there are those Stride Vanguards that do rely on those back row units. So this gives you out to that. This can retire out those annoying rear guards when your opponent has like 3 back row rear guards, and this can knock them out of the park right there. And this can also set you up for some really nice, amazing plays for next turn. All in all, the Defeat Flare Dragon, it's just amazing. It's so amazing, I've even pondered on bumping this card up to 2, if not even 3 copies of this card, because of how amazing and fantastic this card is for Overlord in general. And then next up, the actual Strides themselves. Next up, we have the 2 Vortex Desires. Nothing too special to explain about him. Persona Flip 1 to get the ability to on-hit retire 2 potentially, or if for whatever reason you manage to do Legion and then stride into him, you can retire 3 on-hit. Not bad. Occasionally you'll end up going for the on-hit too, but I digress. Still a good card in general. I have thought about kind of one of him out so I can put in another copy of Defeat Flare Dragon, just because there has been occasions where where the second one hasn't really been needed, and there has been times where I did wish I had another Pacific Stride in particular. So, I don't know. Maybe some further test playing, I may take out the second Vortex Desire. I don't know. Maybe some further test playing and see what happens. Next up, we play 2 copies of Novel Voyage L Express. When he's attacking your opponent's Vanguard, after you Counterblast and Persona Flip, not only your opponent can have perfect guard this, but also when his attack is on hit, when your opponent would be at 5 or more, would be at 5 damage, all their triggers are nothing. So if you get a critical trigger and your attack is a hit, and if you're at, let's say, 5 damage, your opponent's at 4 damage, it is literally guaranteed that you're going to win right there. So this is definitely very great if you're pushing for game. In case of your ace or your Dragon Blade Master Trident does not kill your opponent, and you know by fact your opponent has very low resources except for perfect guards in their hands, this card can practically guarantee you, if not almost guarantee you, a game over for your opponent, and you a winner right there out of nowhere. Next up, we play 4 copies of Dragon Blade Master Trident. This card is just amazing. Counterblast 1, flip any card from your G-Zone face up, and for every Blade Master Trident face up your G-Zone, you can retire 1 rear guard that your opponent has for every one of those face-up tridents. Also, he'll also gain his blazing ability, and his blazing ability is he will gain 1 extra critical. So this makes your opponent pay for overextending, and when your opponent overextends, this card will make your opponent pay for it, wipe out a good portion of your opponent's field, if not completely wipe out your opponent's field, especially when you combo him off with your Defeat Flare Dragon. And this card will be racking on your opponent with an extra crit, and your opponent will either lose right there or be forced to use up some important resources just to stop themselves from losing game by the hands of Trident right here. And finally, to end the entire deck profile, in my opinion, the best stride for this deck right here, with the exception of maybe Trident, your best go-to stride for this deck right here, 4 copies of Draconic Overlord the A's. I did order 2 more foil ones, so the common ones will be taken out when the foil ones do come. Ace is just really amazing. Unlike most other Overlords you can occasionally see, with the exception of Rebirth, Ace is just really nice because it doesn't matter if his attack is a hit or not. He can just well, just like most other Overlords, he can withstand even if his attack is not hit, but it doesn't matter. But he can withstand even if the first attack was a Vanguard, so he can swing your opponent's Vanguard twice, hit some heavy pressure to your opponent, and potentially abuse some huge potential right there. And as a recent ruling I was recently updated on, you can actually use the Ace's skill twice in the same turn to potentially do some really huge, heavy, massive damage right to your opponent all day long, which is just gnarly and insane. And you can use the Ace's skill twice. When you do use the Ace's skill twice, remember when I said earlier, not only your Ace will attack 3 times, but remember when I said Nahal will be 21 power? Well, imagine your Nahal now being 26 power. Yeah, that is really good. If that's not good, I don't know what is good. But Ace is just a really great stride that can attack twice, maybe even 3 times when things go your way. It is just a really great card in general. And that right there, Dragoons. Well, I'm sorry, Dragoons. So I'm using my channel. I apologize. So that right there, everybody, was my Kagero X deck profile. If you all really did enjoy that deck profile, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Christian Dragoon. I do a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon content. I do a lot of CardFight Vanguard, Kagero, and Norokami content as well. So if any of you all really like that kind of stuff, check out my channel, and you can check out a lot more of that stuff. I'll leave a link in the description down below for those of you who want to check out my channel. Thanks a lot to everyone. Thank you all for checking out my content, and thank you all for checking this video out, and I hope to see you all on my channel. And I'm out. Bye. Peace.